Part of our program here on GJRB Online as we close up our sports page for tonight. We're going to finish up sports page for tonight here on GJRB Online and our final conclusion of moments. It's just we're just abbreviating this program tonight, so we'll have another edition, full length edition of Sports Page coming up here on GJRB Online, as it's getting late on a Saturday night here in the Central Time Zone. So we're just going to kind of wrap up this program and give a few more things, and then we're going to close up this abbreviated edition. But once again, it was kind of surprising that the LA Rams, or rather the Rams, who were in St. Louis, I believe it was, decided to take their place and pack up and go back over to Los Angeles. They decided to do that. The Rams moved back to Los Angeles. The San Diego Chargers, apparently what it was that they decided to pack up and go back. They end up staying there. Long-time votes and revotes ended with 30 of 32 NFL owners approving the Rams owning the team, and they decided to go back to Los Angeles. Well, let's see. The St. Louis Rams, I guess I don't know if their attendance was down or what have you, but they decided to pack up and leave and go back to Los Angeles. And that was their decision there. Imagine that they just wanted to do this.
Andrew, is how that vote ended up. What does it say that it was that one-sided?
Yeah, we have almost a unanimous opinion that they're moving to the Inglewood facility in Hollywood Park, built by Stan Kroenke, and the Rams, I should say now for the first time in 20 years, the LA Rams. They will be moving. That's the historic decision coming to tonight. As you mentioned, as was mentioned, there are some options going forward. When we get to San Diego, they'll have a year from now to work out something lease-wise with Inglewood, or to work out something in San Diego. If they pass, it goes to Oakland. The big news is Rams to Inglewood. Stan Kroenke wins, and we can talk about money rules. Yes. This was all a financial deal. He had the most revenue-producing opportunities. This is going to be a gleaming facility that's going to host Super Bowls, Pro Bowls, Combine, Draft, International Soccer, Final Fours. This is what got owners excited throughout this process.
Why does it help the Chargers to have 1 year before they join the Rams in Inglewood?
Well, the Chargers' proposal has talked about their frustration with San Diego and getting something done. An environmental study that seems to be somewhat resolved needs more time. But specifically, there's a referendum on the vote scheduled for June. So June would be way too late. We have to make a decision about 2016, but it's not too late to make a decision about 2017. So if they get the stadium financing packages done in June with this referendum passing, maybe we're looking at continuing to stay in San Diego. It's not that scorched earth that went on in St. Louis,
Absolutely.
where we always felt like Kroenke's not going back there. That's not happening. So he moves. San Diego, we'll see what happens for a year. And again, this more will come out about money, but my sense is if they don't move San Diego and Oakland, they will be financially rewarded by the NFL owners for staying in the markets that they are.
There you go. Interesting there. Again, Houston. The Rams are moving back to Los Angeles and might be doing so. I thought that was kind of interesting. That they would move. I don't know. The story kind of confuses me. The Rams and the Chargers.
She gets the largest, most dependable
I don't understand that too much. But we're going to try and shut that off. Okay, let me see if I can do that. Okay, I did. Let's shut the volume control off on that. There we go. Anyway, the Rams moving back to Los Angeles. The San Diego Chargers and the Oakland Raiders might end up staying where they're at. But leadership in the teams didn't come too close to making that commitment. And this is as of Tuesday night. Now, that's probably why I haven't heard anything about this. This is a surprise to me. The votes and revotes ended with a 30 of 32 NFL owners approving the Rams owning Stan Kroenke's ambitions to plan to move the team from St. Louis to the site at the old Hollywood Park racetrack in Inglewood, California. It's about 10 miles from the downtown LA area, and the Chargers have a year-long option to join the Rams. Somehow I don't understand it. Anyway, following the Raiders, by the Raiders in San Diego franchise, the Raiders and the Chargers submitted competing proposals to share the new stadium in Carson, California, but they also did not garner the 24 votes needed for an approval after another negotiating session in the afternoon. Kroenke's, I can pronounce it, Kroenke's $1.8 billion project prevailed. The decision to end the NFL's 21-year absence from the nation's second largest market. Roger Goodell said that in a news conference, a quote, "I often said over those 21 years that we have been in a great facility. I think that what happened over the last years is we had two outstanding opportunities. Both of these stadium projects were outstanding." The NFL returning home today. With the NFL returning home, Los Angeles cements itself into the epicenter of the sports world. The Los Angeles mayor there, Eric Garcetti, said in a statement, "We cannot wait to welcome the Rams and perhaps others soon as they join the storied lineup of the professional franchise, collegiate powerhouses, and sports media companies." Former Rams running back Eric Dickerson took to Twitter to celebrate the franchise return to Los Angeles. Now, the fee to move the team is $550 million. The option either is to pay all that at once or with 10 annual installments of $64 million. Guess they could do that. A source told ESPN's Jim Trotter, Kroenke will pay it in a lump sum. Boy, that must be nice. Chargers chairman Dean Spanos was asked if he intended to play in Los Angeles in 2016. He said, quote, "I'm going to take a day off tomorrow and think, and this has really been excruciating for everyone. And it's very difficult to say right now that I'm going to do this or do that." Oakland is still in debt from renovations 20 years ago when the Raiders moved back from Los Angeles City. Officials have said that they won't seek help from taxpayers for the new stadium, and they've asked NFL for more time to develop a project in response to the Raiders' relocation plans to the NFL. So, this is a surprise to me. I mean, like I said, I just learned this today, that they were going to be moving the Rams back from St. Louis back to Los Angeles. I mean, I just learned that today, and it was like a surprise, threw me for a curve, because, see, remember, the Rams were Rams were in Los Angeles a long time ago. a long time ago. And now they're going to go back. Just imagine that. I mean, after all that time. And you have to wonder then, what led to that decision? We're going to talk about that more on Sportspage next week. When we did the Garyj Wrestling program Friday, I'll bring that topic up again. What do you think about that? The Raiders, the Rams going back to Los Angeles after being with St. Louis for a while. A lot of interesting opinions on this. Ray Perez, a 28-year-old Raiders from Sacramento. Dr. Dead. Traveling to Houston meeting was... No. Anyway. I don't know. I just find it fascinating that they would go back to L.A. Fascinating indeed. And like I said, Friday afternoon when we get back together for the Garyj Wrestling program, I'll be talking about this more because I think this is a very interesting topic indeed. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're running out of time on this edition of Sports Page. Like I said before, this is an abbreviated edition of this program. And I had some listeners over the last hour. I don't know who, but I was going to do... before we closed up was to find out who that was. We had listeners in the... no, it didn't. No, it's zeros all the way across the board. I thought I had listeners. The last check, there was one play, like 2 plays, while we were on the air live, and it doesn't show up here on the board. I want to refresh that real quick and see maybe there's a reason for that. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the episode pages and see. Yeah, there was a listener in the final part, and there was a listener in 3-5. 3-5. There's listeners in 2 parts of our program tonight. 1 listener out of that whole show. So I don't know who that was, but since this is a Saturday night abbreviated edition of Sports Page, and since I decided that this was going to be the final part of the program with 2 minutes and 6 seconds left of the show, I'm going to throw in 1 more part, just like about 15 more minutes, and see if we can get that listener back. If not, we're going to end this program right there here on Sports Page. But so let's see if that person's still out there. What do you think about the Rams going back to Los Angeles from St. Louis? If you have that, let me know. Give me a call. Area code 5630-613-4260. And we'll stay on 15 more minutes here on GJRB Online. Gary J Sports Page here on GJRB. And glad you could be with me tonight. Just going to be the abbreviated edition tonight. And we'll be getting back to regular format, regular show in just about a couple of weeks when we get back on the Sports Page. And we're going to have a Saturday show about mid-month. And we're going to have that on Saturday. That'll be coming up Saturday. Sports Page Saturday, August 20th, right here on GJRB at 2 o'clock Central Time. And I'm going to take a break and have more Sports Page coming up as we wrap up this show. 15 more minutes of Sports Page here on GJRB. Hang on, we'll be right back.